Real quick, if you are an overstimulated mom, raise your hand. I have the perfect resource for you. Make sure you subscribe and let's get into it. Hey there, my name is Lesline, putting my seat down because I am feeling a little overstimulated, and I am your favorite nurse yogi. In today's video, we are going to discuss what it is like to be an overstimulated mom, and then I'm going to give you a resource. We ain't going to just complain. We're going to complain a little bit. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to cuss, vent, all of that. And then I'm going to give you the resource, right? Because it's all about action here. It's all about action and relaxation. In case you are new around here, because most likely you are, I am a registered nurse with 12 years of healthcare experience. And I'm also a certified yoga instructor with 5 years of teaching experience. I have been practicing yoga personally since 2009. At time of recording, it is March 16th, 2026. So I've been practicing personally yoga for so long, like almost half my life. Wild, because I am 34 years old. All right, I feel like you should take me out to dinner now because I gave you all that stuff. But no, today I really just want to talk about overstimulation because I am you. I am an overstimulated mom. Hence, I'm keeping these headphones on purpose because I want you to know I see you. And it is spring break at time of me recording. And my kids are actually in the next room over. I just told them, hey, I got to record my daily YouTube video. Give me 30 minutes, BRB. Also, let me add to this. How many times do I say also? Every time I say also, take a shot. If it's spring break or you're able or you want to, whatever. I am doing 100 days of YouTube. Straight. Wild, right? And so today is day 41. Yeah. It's either 41 or 42. But we here every day, right? So yeah, spring break is happening in my house. My kids are home. I work from home. And today I could feel my nervous system getting overwhelmed. And I've caught myself, and I think it's also I am on my period, so there's like multiple things where I'm like, girl, you got a lot going on, like cut, give yourself a break, right? Also, I worked this past week in the people's job, and on top of that, like I was a guest on a podcast this weekend. Girl, it was a lot. It was a lot of things going on. And, then you got to like spend time with kids. You got to grocery shop, all of these things, right? So it's really important to me. And I was sharing this on the podcast I was on, that I used to think before I became certified as a yoga teacher that yoga teachers couldn't get stressed. Like if you did, that means you're not a good yoga teacher. And so like my part of my the reason I show up is because and share those thoughts and give examples of me struggling and whatever is because I want you to know that nobody's perfect. Okay. So with that being said, and let me know where that song is from in the comments below. It's normal, right, to feel this way as a mom. What becomes not the best is when it's every day. Like every day you're snapping at the kids, right? That's when you need to kind of like reassess, like, okay, every single day I'm snapping at my kids, like let's not point it to them. Let's turn that finger around and ask ourselves, like, what is really going on with us? Okay, so I have a script, so that's why I'm looking down, because I will talk to y'all every which way but the way. So so it's okay to feel like this, like to feel overstimulated, and know, KNOW, that you are not failing. But I will add this again, if you're every single day overstimulated, overwhelmed, something has to give, and something will give with or without your consent. So overstimulation happens when there is too much input. And also I need to stop saying also. What comes to mind as I say that is seek therapy, seek a therapist, right? Because kids, like marriage, I am married as well. I feel like marriage and children are the biggest mirrors in that you could have. And what I mean by this is like, you know how you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, like, right? That's how I feel. And we flip, you know how the mirrors, like when you do your makeup, you always do the mirror that you don't really see that close because you like, I got some acne, I got some hyperpigmentation, nobody need to see. But then if you flip the mirror, you see the hyperpigmentation real good, so it's super zoom. That's how marriage and kids are. That's how I feel like it is. And so with that being said, your kids, right, will throw things at you where you're like, damn, like you really saying the quiet things out loud. Like you really and they also will bring up stuff without saying things, like certain things that they may do will bring up old things. Like we'll bring up things from your childhood where you're like, dang, like I couldn't act the way you're acting. And then you want to like kind of act the same way your parents did. And that's a whole other thing of like breaking generational curses, la, la, la. I ain't no therapist. But what I'm saying is I have noticed for me personally, since I became a mom, I have had therapy and it has transformed my life. Couple that with, I also had life coaching. I have a whole video where we go into what is the difference between a therapist and a life coach because they are not the same thing. Okay? I say it like that. I love you holding your hand. Please, because there's just been a lot of misinformation online of like it's one and the same and they're not. So I highly recommend that if every single day you're feeling overwhelmed, overworked, all of that, you need to seek a therapist. You need to talk to an unbiased person. An unbiased person, not that same friend day in and day out. That friend loves you. I know they've been your BFF since kindergarten, right? But you need to talk to somebody that does not know you from Adam to really get to the root of what is triggering you, because that's what it is. It's triggers, and you have to learn how to manage those triggers. And at the end of this video, I will be providing you a resource, and it's also just going to be down below, of brown noise, and we're going to get into that's my solution for you right now. But if you're not seeking professional help through therapy, that brown noise ain't going to work for you. It ain't because you also might need a psychiatrist. You also might need some meds, and that is amazing. Right? So both things can be true for you. You could have your therapist, you could have your psychiatrist, you could have a life coach, you could have what else am I saying? And have some brown noise and some yoga with your favorite nurse yogi. Like that's true wraparound care. And I don't know where it got like thrown around that as mothers, we don't need support. But then as I say this, I'm like, oh yeah, society hates women. Society hates women. So of course, they gonna make us feel like we have to do this alone, right? That we have to do this alone. But the jig is fucking up, okay? The jig is up. You're not supposed to do motherhood alone. You cannot. Even if you have, it is not sustainable for you. It is not healthy for you or your children. Okay, so noise. When it comes to overstimulation, right, it's mostly like the noise. And I remember a friend of mine, she was like, yeah, if there's 3 or more noises, like two of the noises have to go, right? And so if it's like the TV's on, the iPad's on, and a toy, my kids are still kind of young, so they play with toys. If there's all those, my son has this Jack in the Box, creepy as hell. He bought it with his own money, though. He said he wanted it. I said, whatever, it's your money. But so if it's the Jack in Box, it's the iPad, it's the TV, some got to cut. We got to cut something out because it's too much. It's too much, right? And I will always, when I hear all those noises, I would be like, hey, I need you to put on your headphones, right? I know you want to listen to that, but I don't want to hear it right now. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Not a little, because if you're saying little overwhelmed, then you're negating. I am feeling overwhelmed. Like fully say that. Lean into it, right? Because then as you say that you are feeling this way, you are telling the people around you as well as yourself that, okay, this is how I'm feeling. And then the next course of action is to, how can I regulate myself, right? Okay. So yeah, it could be the questions. So noise isn't just like the noise that you hear, right? And you might have heard noises from my phone. You might hear noises from my kids. It could also just be the questions, like your kids are asking you 1,000,001 questions. And when they ask me these questions, I have to like tell myself, like, I want them to continue to ask me questions like as they get older. So what I'll say when I'm overwhelmed, I'll be like, I like slow down in my head the questions, and then out loud I say, I love that you ask me questions, but I don't know the answer to this. Or ask your dad. If James, my husband's here, ask your dad, right? But I try my best to preface like, I love that you ask me all of these questions. Like, I want you to continue staying curious, because as a kid, that is something that as adults we lose. Like, once we become adult, we lose that curiosity. And what I've realized is the more I lean into my curiosity as an adult, the life just, like, you see life differently, if you will. Screens, right? All these screens. I'm looking at 3 screens right now, y'all. That's a lot of screens. That's overstimulating. Task, emotional load. That's something a lot of people were talking more about, at least what I hear on my corner of the internet, is the emotional load that mothers have to carry, right? You carry the emotional load of your children, especially my kids are 6 and 7 at this time, but I have friends that have teenagers and going through a lot of different things, and you have to carry that emotion from your teenagers onto yourself, and that can weigh you down. Like, it does weigh you down. It does. And you have to figure out a way to release that, because it could be some heavy stuff, right, that your kids are going through. And isn't it amazing that they do want to share what they're going through with you? Like, I would rather it be like that. But keep in mind, you need to release that to a professional such as a therapist. Because what's going to happen is you're going to take on all of this, right? Your kid told you that they got bullied at school. Then you have a task that's due today at work. Then you have to cook dinner. You are tallying all of this in your head, right? So then when the day is over, of course you have an outburst at your child, right? If you don't if you don't do certain things to regulate yourself, okay? So then I'll close with this, and then I'll talk about brown noise. Sometimes it's not that anything is wrong. Like, it's not that like there's one specific thing that's wrong. It's just that your nervous system has taken in a lot of input, okay? And the nervous system, I'm not going to get, well, I'll quickly get into this because there's this doctor I follow on Instagram. What was her? Oh my gosh, Dr. Erica? But anyways, she was like saying how a lot of people are using it's what's the word I'm looking for? Like, now it's just like a buzzword, nervous system. But I learned what the nervous system was in nursing school. And there's 2 types. You have 2 subsets of your nerve. So it's like your central nervous system. Okay, that's what it is. And the central nervous system is so fascinating because they can't technically show like what, like with the musculoskeletal system, for example. In anatomy and physiology, they'll show you the bones, right? And the muscles connected to those bones, and the femur, and the, your humerus. Like, they'll show you the skull, right? Those are part of the musculoskeletal system. But with the central nervous system, they'll show you the spine and all of the nerves that come off of the spine, right? So that is also part of the nervous system, is like your spine is the central nervous system. Like, that is the hub that connects to your brain, and that you have to think of it like it's the main access point. So if you're, God forbid, right, you hear, I'm going off a little bit of a tangent, but I'll circle it back. You hear of somebody that gets in a car accident and they become paraplegic, meaning like they cannot either move their legs or their arms. That is because their central, somewhere in their spine, got severed. and there's no way of rehabbing, like putting that back together. And so then they can't either move their arms or their legs, right? So within that though, we have your parasympathetic nervous system and your sympathetic nervous system. This is the part that you cannot see. So you can see the central nervous system with all the nerves coming off of the spine, right? But you cannot see the parasympathetic nervous system and you cannot see the sympathetic nervous system. So today I want to focus on the sympathetic nervous system because that's where you as an overstimulated mom, that's where you live. The sympathetic nervous system is known as fight, I want to fight, or flight, right? I'm gonna go away. And now they've added like freeze, where you just are like in a stressful situation and you just freeze because you don't know what to do. The parasympathetic nervous system is rest, digest, right? So if you are very stressed out, you're living in fight or flight, and you most likely are not digesting your food properly. It's like, whoa, how we go from I'm stressed to I can't digest? It's all connected. You probably can't take a shit properly, okay? It's all connected. Like all of this is connected, and it's such a great conversation that is being had online now that people are realizing this. But yeah, it's all connected. So let's talk about brown noise. So we got a little bit of school, right? Now I want you to talk about brown noise. So brown noise is a deeper sound frequency. Brown noise is in the same category as white noise. So if you are a new mom that is overstimulated, you probably know white noise. I've played white noise for my kids when they were like newborns, like really, really small. And that typically helps like put your kid to sleep, right? But white noise, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's more so like a higher frequency. So when it comes to sounds, right? So I did say sounds can be overwhelming, but there are certain sounds that can they relax you. But note that everybody is different in what sounds relax you. I'm pretty sure though you don't like nails on the chalkboard. If you do, that's interesting. But typically, like nails on the chalkboard is a sound that nobody likes. But let's focus on brown noise. So brown noise is a deeper sound frequency. It can help settle the nervous system. Many people find it more calming than white noise. And so as a nurse and yoga teacher, I'm very mindful of things that help regulate my nervous system. One thing that helps me when I'm overstimulated is brown noise. And I made a over an hour brown noise audio, a track. And it's right here on YouTube. So I'm going to link it below. I would highly recommend you just let it loop, and it's such relaxing noise. And let me know if you want me to make more brown noise audio. I can definitely do that. But yeah, so let's close out with this. So when my house feels loud, when everyone is talking and my brain feels full, I will put on brown noise for a few minutes. It's like giving my nervous system a softer environment. When I tell you, it's like Pavlov, like the dog thing, where it was like the dog drools. I literally put these headphones on, turn on the brown noise, and I'm like, not even kidding. I like immediately regulate, or start to regulate, right? So please check that out. That is my resource for you. And I'll leave you with this. How many times I'm going to say that, right? Overstimulation doesn't mean you're doing motherhood wrong. It doesn't. I just told you, society hates women. It's not your fault, right? But as a woman, we take accountability. As a grown woman, we take accountability, right? And we want to improve and we want to be better, not just for your kids. Yeah. But for you, okay? Sometimes your nervous system just needs a moment of quiet. All right. And if you need it today, the brown noise video is right down below. Take a breath. Let's do that together. Let's take a breath right now. Before we took a breath, my feet were my feet were crossed over each other. My toes were clenched. And as I said to you, let's take a breath, I'm telling myself, that's what I noticed instantly. So I want you to do that too at this time. Drop your shoulders now. Uncurl your toes. Relax your feet. Allow your legs to get heavy. Allow your bottom, your seat, to get heavy. Allow your belly to relax. Drop those shoulders again. Unclench your jaw. And if it's comfortable for you, I encourage you to close your eyes. Allow your mouth to be open and your tongue, detach your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Now your tongue is floating in your mouth. Relax your nose, your ears, your eyelids, your forehead, and all of the hair follicles that are on your head. And maybe you swallow a few times. And gently roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Notice how you sit up a little taller. Relax that jaw. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in through our nose. In through our nose. Out through our mouth. 2 more. One more. Float your eyes open. Take note of how you feel now. I burped. I feel a little bit better. I don't know about you, but that is how you can go from overstimulated to maybe just stimulate. Well, you want to be stimulated because you're awake, right? And again, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to receive support. I mentioned almost 6 different types of people that can help you. You deserve that. And I understand it's rough times right now. So if you are not able to afford any of that at this time, please check out my brown noise down below. I'll also leave other resources of how you can work with me and all of that. And I will see you in the next one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Really subscribe. That's the most important one. Then like is second, and then comment is third, if we gonna be really real. All right. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you later. Bye.